Welcome to episode 2 of Rugby in a Different Light. And once again, we are joined by our 3 eminent guests, bringing you the inside story of everything to do with rugby. So let's start with some introductions. We've got Bruce Aitchison, our super fan, player, coach, school teacher, rugby announcer. He's not only a well-known face in Scottish rugby, by the way. He hosts gala evenings, webcasts, podcasts, and I'm sure many of you out there will know his smooth voice as the stadium announcer for Edinburgh Rugby. His social media site, Happiness is Egg-Shaped, has passed 20,000 followers now. But Bruce also has a long list of global playing and coaching credentials, from Scotland under-18 and under-19 caps through to 4 years as captain of Kowloon Rugby Football Club and a stint playing for the Albany Knickerbockers in USA in 2001. Coaching, again, what a list, picking a few. Murrayfield Wanderers Rugby Football Club, runners-up in the National Shield. Head coach at Boroughmuir Rugby Football Club, winning the National League and BT Scottish Cup. He's now housemaster at Merchiston Castle School in Edinburgh, a leading rugby school in Scotland. So you can see there, I had to pluck a few of the long list out of his CV, which honestly, that CV should be illegal, the amount of paper it used when I printed it. But don't worry, I've offset my carbon footprint by planting a tree in the garden in your memory, Bruce. Moving over to Owain Jones, our resident journalist. Owen has been writing and editing about rugby since 2004. He's edited matchday programmes for the WRU publications. British and Irish Lions, he's written for the Guinness Pro 14, and he's a regular voice on BBC Radio Wales. He's been writing for Rugby Pass since 2019, and he's currently the Northern Hemisphere editor of The 15, an online rugby journal. And his contact list is a who's who of world rugby over the last 20 years. When he's away from his desk, he's obsessed with Liverpool Football Club, gadgets, although having spent many hours on the phone with him, I'm not sure that can be true, and waxing lyrical about growing up in Cardiff, as we found out. But he's also not the best at picking Lions captains, but we'll come back to that. And finally, Rachael Burford, our professional and title winner. Rachael is an England World Cup winner and captain. She capped England over 100 times at both 15s and 7s. And in the club scene, joined Harlequins as captain in 2017. Off the rugby field, she's founded the Girls Rugby Club, a global platform aimed at providing a pathway for girls and women in rugby. And in April 2016, she became the first female professional player to be elected to the Rugby Players Association Players Board and sits on 2 World Rugby Advisory Committees. Rachael first picked up the ball at the age of 6 and later played in the same team as her mum and sister, which must have been amazing, at Medway Rugby Football Club. So I'm sure they're tuning in. And since the first pod, Rachael captained Harlequins women to victory in the Premiership title, defeating Saracens 25-17 in what was a brilliant final at Kingsholm. Unfortunately, after taking the lead, you had to leave the field with a knee injury. So we can't move on without asking, how's the knee now, Rachael? Is it coming on?
Yeah, no, it is. Delighted to obviously get the win, but a bit of bittersweet coming off quite early. I had surgery a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, like I'm all on track. It was a bigger surgery than I anticipated, but yeah, on track and progress is good so far. So, just got to take one day as it comes and hope to stay on track, really.
Well, we'll speak a bit more about the injuries and those kind of things coming up in the pod. But before we go on, we've got to start with the Lions captain picks from the last episode. So for those who don't remember or hadn't tuned into episode 1, the picks were, Rachael, you had Hoggy. Thoughts on that?
I put myself out there because I didn't go for the obvious. I thought, you know what, I'd start up a little bit of a chat, get some thoughts going. And Hoggy is a very good leader, so it wasn't a bad shout. And, maybe he'll be in that VC role.
Proving that you're a leader, not a follower, I think is what you're saying, Rachael. I think that's what that's about. So Bruce, you were lucky. You got sort of first pick, I think, but it looks like you were spot on with Owain Jones. And are you feeling good about that?
Yeah, I love how Burf justifies it, getting it wrong by saying she just tried to be different. That's absolute gold. Alan Wynne if he hadn't had the Six Nations he'd had, I don't think that would have been so obvious. But because he was so successful and he's been there before and he's been round the block, it was the obvious choice. And seeing how they've enjoyed their little holiday in Jersey, he looks like he's ready to paddleboard there and then take them on when he gets there. He just looks like he's absolutely up for it. And I think the pictures that we've seen, and obviously social media is sometimes a false window into what's actually happening. He looks like he's very, very happy and comfortable in his surroundings. So hopefully that all bodes well.
And Owen, Maro Itoje, what happened there, fella?
I would like to re-see that tape because I thought I'd said Owain Jones, Mark.
You tried to, but you couldn't have the same person. Do you remember? So you had to pick someone else. I think that's how it worked.
Oh well, let's use captain of the Lions by the end of the series. We hope Owain stays in one piece. But if you remember, 2013, I think Owain Jones carried the Lions home because Sam Warburton was injured for the final test. So maybe Maro will take over. But yeah, look, if I did say that, then I'll happily admit it. But yeah, both fine players.
We did check the tape, so it's not like we have to go back. We actually checked the tapes. But anyway, moving forward swiftly then, Bruce, this is your moment to shine, because I think if I was right, the deal was that if you won, the others had to have a Scotland rugby ball in the background for the next pod. So how's it feel to be a winner?
Well, I'm just looking forward to both of them putting on a Scottish accent, because that's going to be the real challenge. Forget the rugby ball. I want to hear Burf and Owen give us their full-on Scottish accents.
Well, do you want it now? I mean,
yeah, absolutely. So Rachel, why wait?
You go first. Let's have your best Scottish accent then.
Let's give us your best Jade Conkle. Give us your best Jade Conkle.
I'm trying to think of some of the sayings that you guys say.
How about and retaining the Calcutta Cup, Scotland?
Can't say that. Can't say that.
How about welcoming the Lions into the
Whoa, like you're making a very long sentence here. I was going for like one or two words. I mean, you're ready. You look ready.
Oh, I don't know.
Owen's all over this. Come on, then, Owen.
Never ready. I say, Owain Jones, shaken not stirred, is my pathetic Sean Connery accent.
It's the go-to for a Scottish accent, I think, there, isn't it?
I thought we were just having a ball instead of an accent.
Yeah, I don't know how.
I don't know where the ball came in. We just thought we'd run with it because it was Bruce's winning request, you know. But let's move swiftly on then. So today, first up,
I got away with that.
You got away with it. We'll come back to you. Don't you worry.
Oh.